She's the meanest girl in school. She thinks she's so popular, but newsflash, no one cares. She was mocking my friend Brianna. I walked up to her and I threw my tray on her. She was covered in all of my food. She got really mad and attacked me. She pushed me to the ground and she started choking me. I could barely breathe, but I was just enjoying myself because of how this girl was able to squeeze me so tight. Brianna was trying to push her away, but suddenly, without thinking, I blurted out, "Choke me harder." Everyone heard what I said loud and clear. Hello everyone, my name's Natalie and I'm 17 years old. There's something heavy that's been on my mind lately and I really wanted to let you guys know. But before that, leave me a like and smash that subscribe button so you'll never miss an upload from this channel. Do you guys ever experience pain? Do you just hate it? Well, I don't. And that's because I'm the opposite of that. I'm a masochist, and us masochists love pain. Like, a lot of pain. Although there's no need for you to judge me because I've got a good reason to back that up. It all started on one beautiful day when I was alone in my room. I was just reading a book and suddenly my older sister Nancy barged in. She started yelling at me. "I thought I told you to stop wearing my clothes." I just shrugged it off and said, "Why don't you find some different clothes and stop being a baby?" She got really angry at my words, so she walked up to me and slapped my face. She then walked out of my room and slammed the door. God, that hurt like hell. But I wasn't crying or anything. I just felt a tingling sensation on my face. I didn't understand what had happened to me, so I decided to give it a test drive. I planned on making my sister angry again to test my theory. So I went to her room without her permission. As soon as she saw me, she screamed, "What are you doing in my room? Get out!" I didn't reply. I just grabbed her homework that she was working on and ripped it to shreds. She was horrified at what I did. She then slapped my face twice in a row. I was smiling at her. She looked confused and then she said, "What is up with you? Doesn't that hurt you?" I quickly replied, "Surprisingly, no, it doesn't." Then I walked out of her room. I didn't understand this love of pain, so I decided to search it up on Google, and then I found it. It's called a masochist. Is that what I am? I thought to myself. But it continued to happen. I was making myself some hot chocolate in the microwave. When it was done, I grabbed it. The cup was hot, but instead of screaming, I just giggled and enjoyed the burning sensation on my skin. My mom showed up and said, "Sweetie, please use a mitten, it's still hot." I didn't care. I loved feeling the burn. Later, I accidentally broke a vase that belonged to my grandma. My dad rushed in, and when he saw the broken vase, he was furious. He told me to face the wall, he grabbed his belt and whipped my behind. He hit me really hard, but fortunately for me, it felt so good. It even low-key turned me on. Okay, but what did you expect? I'm a masochist. But I kept it a secret from my family because they wouldn't understand. But I did tell my best friend Brianna about my secret. She didn't believe me at first though, so I told her to step on my feet to confirm it. When she did, I kind of moaned, although it wasn't too loud because I didn't want anyone to hear me. She was surprised and wondered how it was possible. Then, there was this one time in a cafeteria, there's this girl named Susie. She's the meanest girl in school. She thinks she's so popular, but newsflash, no one cares. She was mocking my friend Brianna. I walked up to her and I threw my tray on her. She was covered in all of my food. She got really mad and attacked me. She pushed me to the ground and she started choking me. I could barely breathe, but I was just enjoying myself because of how this girl was able to squeeze me so tight. Brianna was trying to push her away, but suddenly, without thinking, I blurted out, "Choke me harder." Everyone heard what I said loud and clear. Then Susie let go of my throat and stood up. "You're insane," she said. Then she walked off. Later, the principal called me and Susie to his office because one of the teachers told him about the fight and what everyone had heard me say. He called my parents over to discuss what had happened and even showed them what I just said. My parents looked shocked. Then the principal cleared his throat and asked me why I said all that stuff. So I decided to tell them the truth. So I told my parents that I'm a masochist and what I've been doing to get a thrill from feeling pain. I thought they were going to get mad, but they understood. They even told me that when my grandma was my age, she was a masochist too. So that's where I got it from. So they accepted me for who I was.
Oh, is it okay if I call you Alex? She said with a smile. I nodded and she continued. You are so beautiful. I love your... I didn't want to hear her when I turned and made for the door. Sam ran to me screaming.
Wait! I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to do that. Emily isn't my girlfriend nor my cousin.
Once Emily heard those words, she got really mad, packed her clothes, and slapped Sam really hard before pushing through the door. Before Sam, I would say I wasn't so lucky with relationships. I remember dating a guy called Peter. He would act so nice to me in private, serve me breakfast in his tiny box that we called a bed, kiss me many times in a day, and buy me gifts, even though I always never had a need for any of them. In public, my sweet Peter was a totally different person. He wouldn't return my greetings, wouldn't hug me, or even act like we knew each other. Every time I confronted him, his excuse was always that he didn't see me. I guess my Peter was blind outside his space. But before I continue any further, leave a like and smash the subscribe button so you won't miss any uploads from this channel. I met Sam at a park on a cold Saturday. He was too cold to make a complete sentence. At first, I wondered what he was doing at the park without coats and gloves on a cold day, and why he couldn't go home. I judged him as a careless and immature individual in my head, but as soon as I turned to walk away, I heard a bang. Sam had fallen! I noticed he could no longer resist the cold. I ran to him in fear that he could be dead. He was cold and nearly frozen, so I screamed as loud as I could and was able to get an ambulance to attend to him. He was rushed to the hospital, and my memory of everything that happened there was blurry, except for the endless laughter and mimics of him when he finally woke up.
Emotional, damn it!
We spent so much time together, created many memories, and then, over time, I became his girlfriend. He and I schooled nearby, and our caregivers took turns to pick us up and drop us off at school. We were the cutest thing ever. We didn't go a day without kisses, calls, and hugs. We were so fond of each other that I wouldn't do a thing without Sam's opinion, some which were horrible, and some which were not so bad. Everything went on perfect to a point where I thought we could have the opportunity of getting married early. But I guess life never tells one when it would hit and how hard. After graduation, Sam began to avoid me. He wouldn't stop by my house for dinner or ask me out for lunch. Our calls were short and felt forced. There were rumors Sam was seeing a girl from his new college who lived down his street, but I always defended him. A week to my resumption at the college, I stopped by Sam's house to tell him goodbye and get to spend some moments with him. But unfortunately for me, I heard people laughing from the door, followed by an awkward silence in which people started moaning thereafter. I knocked, but got no response, so I pushed the door to behold Sam kissing this new girl. They were both undressed. I stood still and had tears well up in my eyes, but that didn't stop me from noticing how beautiful she was. Her skin was smooth and had such beautiful hair. Eventually our eyes met and she immediately pushed Sam away, who only noticed my presence at that moment. I threw the gift I got for him at him and stood there expecting an explanation. The words I heard broke my soul. Sam hurriedly pulled his pants up and gave a fake smile.
Hey, Emily!
He began.
Meet my cousin, Alexandra.
He said, pointing at me. Until that moment, I never knew a girlfriend could also be a cousin. Emily stood up and hugged me. Hi, Alexandra. Oh, is it okay if I call you Alex? She said with a smile. I nodded and she continued. You are so beautiful. I love your... I didn't want to hear her when I turned and made for the door. Sam ran to me screaming.
Wait! I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to do that. Emily isn't my girlfriend nor my cousin.
Once Emily heard those words, she got really mad, packed her clothes and slapped Sam really hard before pushing through the door. "I'm sorry, sis. I didn't mean to hurt you," she said as she walked past me. Sam kept apologizing and pleading for forgiveness, blaming it on everything he could.
Please, babe. I don't know what came over me. It was the devil. The devil made me do it. I'm so sorry. Please. I'll try to be better. It wasn't my fault. I wish
He regretted that he cheated on me. More so, he must have regretted losing both girls. Because in my own opinion, once a cheater is always a cheater. Top of the morning to you. My name is Rachel, and I'm 21 years old. I live in Ireland with my best friend Bethany. I have suffered a rare condition. It's super embarrassing to tell, but here goes. But just before I go on, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so that you won't miss an upload from us. You see, I have PGAD, which stands for Persistent Genital Arousal Disorder. What? It's a disease that only happens to 200 women around the world. But sadly, I am one of them. Ugh. It started 2 years ago. My roommate Bethany woke me up to get ready, so I got up and went to brush my teeth. I had an electrical toothbrush that vibrates, so when I turned it on, I moaned. I was so lost as to what the heck happened. Bethany heard it and checked on me. I pressed it again and moaned a second time.
What the fuck?
This definitely wasn't normal, so she quickly called 911 and we left. We got to the hospital some minutes after, and the doctor came back with the results. He said that I had PGAD. I couldn't believe it! How could this happen? He also told me that my type was such that I'd react to non-sexual vibrating objects. Can you imagine that? I had to avoid any vibrating objects that came near me for the rest of my life. Ugh. Living with PGAD was literal hell. At college, I was doing a test when my pencil snapped. I got up to sharpen it, but unfortunately for me, that was a huge mistake. Because the vibration of the pencil sharpener aroused me in such a way that caused me to moan so loudly that the whole class could hear it. I got grounded thereafter. Now, I only use small pencil sharpeners that don't turn me on as much, just in case. Later that day, I was at the mall with Bethany. A guy with a tie wanted us to try a massage chair. So, of course, with my rare condition, I politely declined because it had what I was trying to avoid. But he insisted and pushed me on it. I started moaning like crazy. Bethany quickly ran and got me out. She yelled at him for pushing me on it. Things even got worse when I was on a date with my boyfriend Jack. I had to tell him about my condition, and when I did, he understood. We were ordering food and I needed to use the restroom, so I left. And then immediately realized that I left my phone back at the table. So I got it and put it in my pocket. I saw Jack reaching for his, so I thought he was going to call someone, but instead, he called me. My phone vibrated and I moaned so loudly that everyone in the restaurant could hear me. Oh, it was so embarrassing. But I didn't understand. I put my phone on silent. When I checked, the phone was set to the opposite. I saw Jack laughing his ass off. I got up and slapped him. Then I told him that our relationship was over. I ran home crying. I told Bethany and she was very angry at him for what he did. Yikes!
Hi, my name's Eliami, and I'm 18 years old. While other girls my age are already dating, I'm still not allowed to have a boyfriend. I know that sounds sad or depressing, but the funny thing here is my parents aren't even responsible for the reason why I don't get any dates. But my older brother is. He's my only sibling, and my parents are quite busy with their restaurant business, so they sort of left the parenting to my older brother Logan. It was actually pretty cool at first, because Logan allowed me to do whatever I wanted as long as it didn't involve any boys. When I was younger, I didn't mind at all. We were practically inseparable. He would walk me to class and wait for me outside whenever he could. We would have lunch together, go to the movies, or even go to dances together. I felt like I didn't really miss out on the whole fun boyfriend-girlfriend relationship life, as my older brother was enough for me at that time. Although everything changed when a really cute and sexy guy named Justin transferred to our school. He was in most of my classes, and we even both laughed when we were assigned to be activities partners. We got pretty close over time, but nevertheless, Logan seemed to dislike Justin for some odd reason. He even said that Justin looked like trouble that he needed to get rid of. For a moment or two, I was so confused as to where that came from, because I was very sure that they hadn't spoken to each other, so I was quite lost as to why he brought that up. One faithful day, Justin asked me out on a date. He wanted to watch a movie with me and grab some burgers and milkshakes after, so I told him I would call him that same night to confirm things. Later on, I was having dinner with my parents when I told them about Justin. I asked for their permission to go out with him, and fortunately for me, they said yes. They actually looked happy for me, but of course, Logan wasn't. His face looked so pissed and so irritated. Just about a minute after, he excused himself from the dinner, claiming that he wasn't feeling hungry anymore. He then banged the table, stamped his feet, and left. Just as I was about to go to sleep, I heard a knock on my bedroom door. And to my surprise, it was Logan. I was scared at first. I thought he was gonna slap me or something, but the opposite happened. He just walked in with a glass of milk, handed it over to me, and apologized for what happened during dinner. He also asked me about Justin, what he was like, and what I like about him. Then after that, he said goodnight and left. After a few hours, I wasn't so sure if I was still awake or if I was dreaming, but I felt someone touch me. I was too sleepy and weak to do anything about it, so I just allowed it. And that was the last thing that I remember from that night. The next morning, I passed by Logan's room and realized he wasn't there, so I assumed he went for his early morning jog. I went inside out of curiosity because it's been a while since I checked his room out and he always kept it locked often. I was shocked when I saw his computer screen. It was a photo of me on what looked like my body, so I went closer and saw a folder in the desktop with my name on it. I opened it, and to my surprise, he had all my nudes. I also noticed that he didn't take his phone with him while jogging, so I had to check it. I went into his gallery and saw a video that was taken in my bedroom. And to my horror, what happened last night was not a dream, but it was definitely a reality. I can't believe my own brother raped me.